We're on. It's rolling. Deke, do you want to open us up?
What's going on, nobodies?
Mm-hmm.
It's your co-host, Deacon Tuttle, joined by the magical Mark Zenobio Braxton. Mark Zenobio
Braxton, son.
I thought I'd do some alliteration on that
We're
one.
here. We're just rolling the dice, man. Oh gosh, what an epic start to the day today, or the night, I guess. This is a late shoot.
It is a late shoot.
A late shoot, bud.
We tend to go for a long length, and that's A-okay with me, because maybe some of our hound powers can come out.
Our hound powers.
Werewolves. That's our topic for the show tonight, everyone. We're talking about
We're
werewolf
interviewing
mania.
a real life werewolf. I mean, it kind of.
Whoa, hold up! That actually kind of worked out. I was not even thinking about that. But that's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun.
But before we get to our guest today, how was your day, Braxton?
Oh. This reference, I'm drinking a pina colada Truly right now. It's okay. It would be better cold. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair. That's kind of an interesting can design.
Yeah, it's part of the new a poolside party pack. Taylor and I we took liberty we went on a date today. We took a liberty to try all the new flavors, and honestly they all suck.
Really?
This is such a bad batch. Not even like the bad batch from Star Wars, but literally this is the only good one, and this is not that good. But
Truly,
it's not good.
Truly, it's not good.
Truly can never beat themselves in the lemonade, like the limeade stuff, like the lemonade, strawberry, raspberry, mango that they did. They can never top it again. I think that is safe to say the best seltzer of all time, arguably.
Yeah.
In some cases, White Claw,
Yeah, I think Truly beats out White Claw for sure.
Yeah, totally. I agree. My day.
Yes.
Exactly. You just asked me what my day was.
I
I'm
did.
just now about
in this
to answer.
Instantaneous
in this
moment.
actual moment, you just I'm gonna answer it promptly, with extreme punctuation, as our guest, just sits there in anticipation. Our guest is nodding his head vigorously like an animated character. But my day was okay. It was actually pretty good.
Okay.
It just was like a high and low kind of day. I went to the gym with our guest actually, and my girlfriend Taylor, and that was great. There's a cheer competition happening at the school.
Oh.
And so there's normally a punching bag there, but they take it down because it's in that main hallway where all the gyms are. And so for those of you nobodies that are listening, there's a big boxing match coming up on the 6th, and I'm on the title fight. So I need to be training. I try and train every day, at least hit the bag for like 20-30 minutes, and some light other work, some pad work in there, but yeah, so just trying to be diligent on that, but that kind of blew because I got new boxing gloves, but I haven't been able to try them out yet. And I mean, once I try, you just punch a bag, but still I'm gonna wear them and punch stuff. Anyway,
True.
Went to the gym, and then hung out with our guest, made some noodles.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Taylor and I went on our date. It was really good. Just we haven't spent a lot of time in like the past week and a half, just one-on-one together, and so without saying too much, it was just like there's a lot of things like we need to just go over in our relationship, and it was really, really good. But also, some things that, just really, really hard to talk about. But that's okay. And it's amazing. Hopefully I don't get bit in the butt for talking about that on the air.
Hey, healthy talk, everybody. It needs to happen.
It needs, and we're amazing for it. Taylor and I are stronger than ever. But anyway.
You should give her a message.
Oh yeah, Taylor. Here, I'll get it. Taylor, if you're listening to this, my sweet Taylor, I love you dearly, and you're the best. Winky emoji.
This is good.
All right. PSA. We're back. But yeah, and then went and ate a burger at Red Pickle. It wasn't very good. I got the
gauchito.
The gauchito, yeah, it's not very good.
No.
The pickle, the pesto is not very yummy on it. And then went to the barbecue, swam, hung out with you guys. What about you, man? What's new?
What's new? What's new with me? Honestly, nothing's new in that at all in the last 2 weeks. I've just been doing my same usual.
Returnal's new.
Oh, Returnal's new. Okay. Oh, this is good. We started playing new games again and replaying old games as we talked about with the summer free time. There's scheduled clear and time to go through old memories and relive stuff, and But yes, we've been introduced to Returnal through the new PlayStation Plus Premium catalog.
I don't have the premium. I got the extra. Premium is an extra like $20 for the next couple days. But
yes,
I just don't see myself playing like all those old games. So might as well just save my money.
But the extra has lots of great games on it.
Yeah.
This service that is clearly superior to Xbox's. Yeah. I'm sure.
And we should really get into this on this episode, particularly with.
I wrote that down. I knew that we had to.
God bless you.
I knew we had to because there's a 2-on-1 opportunity here. He doesn't have his co-host, or he doesn't have his co-host or co-roommate to back him up on this one.
But
we keep teasing it.
But you're doing good today.
I'm doing great. Yeah, nothing really new for me. Just staying consistently Deacon. That's me.
Amazing. Well, I'm gonna sing our guest in today. You know this guest is the best. I'm not gonna do it. I thought it might be funny, but I honestly don't have the energy for it. I literally just told you guys I am like jazzed.
That's why I love it.
And I just I'm gonna do it. I'm not. Okay.
This
guest is the best. This guest has so much merit. Marriage?
I said marriage.
Marriage, not marriage. Let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Sultan of Swing, the Colossus of Clow, the man without a plan, but everything in a frying pan. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus, the Lone Wolf.
Wolf.
Woo! Thank you, everybody. Thank you. A beautiful intro. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much.
Marcus, welcome to the podcast. This has been a long time coming.
It's really good to be on this podcast. I gotta say, been listening to it, and I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it's better than not being excited to be here.
It is. Are you a steady fan? Would you qualify yourself as such?
I have been here since launch. Been listening, so
whoa.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I would consider myself to be a fan of this. I really like it. Just your guys' like in-depth conversations, and the fact that it runs longer than an hour. I can just if I'm going long distance driving, I can just play it in a car and just start driving and just listen. And you guys are my friends, so just listening to my friends for an hour and a half while driving, I'm just this is great.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's really nice.
Sweet. All right.
Sorry, I'm typing. I thought of an incredible question to ask.
Incredible question? I'm very excited.
Very good.
But Deacon, fire us away, man.
My first one is a philosophical one.
Yes. Ever since Magnuson kind of brought it to a deeper tone last episode, I'm like, this is good volume for our podcast. So maybe we start touching on these deeper tones.
Okay, I don't want you to get too excited because technically that was a joke, but we can talk about philosophy.
Oh,
I just phrased it as
Deacon just shit the bed.
What are you? What are you, Marcus Wolf? That's what I wrote down.
Shut the F up. Because Deacon, I literally have in my notes, what are you?
No, shut up. Right now, look at my notes. I took a screenshot of it.
Stop.
What are you?
Okay, just for reference, we did not. Guys, we did not link notes up before this. Deacon and I hardly link notes.
I wrote that at 8:52 p.m.
I wrote just maybe a second ago, what are you and what is this?
It's so good.
You gotta answer these two questions.
You're perplexed. Now you're seeing the mind link in person. How does this feel?
Now I'm just processing the fact that I'm just asked, Marcus Wolf, welcome to the podcast. What the fertilizer are you?
Oh my goodness, we have to talk about the fertilizer.
Oh yes, we can definitely talk about the fertilizer.
Anything. What are you and what is this?
What is this? This human being that you see and hear before you. Well, my name is Marcus Wolf.
Wait, what?
I know, it's such a shocker.
Oh, God.
Plot twist. Yeah, so my name is Marcus. I am an actor. I am a gamer. I've been friends with the Goons for a while. I'm your guys' new roommate.
Yes.
Which is really exciting. I just moved in a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And it's been very awesome.
Tell us about your living conditions. This is kind of this. What is this?
What is this? Yeah, so my to set up my living situation right now, I moved the lease to my house ended in the late June, And for us goons, we can't get our house until early August. And so in between then, in the month of July, I'm just like, I have technically, quote unquote, nowhere to like live wise with like in per se having a bed.
You're nomadic.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, he's literally nomadic.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've been couch surfing at the Goon Mansion.
You're hanging 10,
Yeah,
honestly. You're doing backflips on this couch surf.
No, it's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. I'm really enjoying being here right now. It's so cool.
Thank you, man. We love having you. I mean,
We do.
Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll walk out there and I'll like forget that you're on the couch. I'm like, oh shoot, that's right. We have another human here.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, that makes me feel
it's not,
so good. As a roommate.
No, it's not like that,
I'm
Marcus.
kidding.
But
kidding.
what I'm getting at is that I'm so used to, because I like get up fairly early in the morning. I try to, at least, and when I do, I normally go outside and start making my breakfast, and I put whatever on the stovetop, and then I just sit on the couch. But
Oh yeah.
I can't, because then I'd be just directly sitting on you. And honestly, I don't know why I haven't just sat on you yet. But
I mean, it would definitely wake me up.
It would.
Really?
I mean,
So you're a light sleeper then?
I would consider myself to be a light sleeper.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm a
you
pretty-
turn over pretty quick.
Dude, you definitely are. I'll drop a pin and you'll go, hey, good morning, Brex.
Also, you're incredible at like. Usually, people wake up and they're kind of like looking around for a second,
Yeah.
but you're always like, "Good morning." You open your eyes and you're immediately like
Yes.
able to start speaking. I'm like,
Like,
that's pretty
actually-
impressive.
I guess, yeah.
But is that more willpower? Is that you're like, I should say something, or is it like, oh, I'm actually good to go?
My parents kind of trained me to be like that a little bit.
Oh, to be like a wolf.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. The wolf family. We do like camping on in RVs and stuff like that, and so my parents are very much the people who are like, all right, we get up early in the morning and we make breakfast and then we go kind of thing. Like we have everything packed up, we're ready to go, and so my parents have very much trained me to just be like, okay, you're up and we're going.
Wow.
Kind of a thing.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We mentioned your... Did he answer that this is... What is this and this or this?
I mean
yeah.
somewhat. There, we have connections with each other. Your interests. Yeah. You said you touched on your interests a little bit.
Yeah. I'm an actor, so I'm a senior right now at Central, and I'm a theater performance major. Let's see. I've been doing a few shows there. I am president of the Hot New Jam, which is Central's. Oh yes, Central's best and only improv team. So we do improv shows. I think 3 to 4 shows quarterly, which is really cool. And so I'm a huge gamer, a huge film buff, and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much Marcus.
That is Marcus.
That is Marcus.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Well, you talked about performance, and I mean, you're kind of like I think Deacon and I, we like when we reach out to our guests, we like to like pick different people and like different varieties of like passions and interests. And so you're kind of like our actor friend and our theater friend and kind of that regard. So you talk about performance and that you're the president of Hot New Jam. You're an actor in multiple different senses. You're an actor in our movies at Goon Productions. You're an actor on stage. Honestly, you have a massive repertoire of talent that you have on and off the screen and on stage and all that jazz. But why do you love it so much?
Ooh,
Good cue.
that is a good question. I personally love doing performance because of the audience. Mm-hmm. Something that has always clicked in my head and just in my personal just walk-in life has always just been that there is a bunch of people who I've either had like a really hard day, a really bad day, or or just with friends, and they're looking for something to do, in the evening, just have a good time. And so I, as a performer, have that power and that responsibility to sort of bring an entertainment to, however many people show up to this one place. Yeah. And I just love the fact that I have that power to change your day for like an hour to 2 hours and just have you forget about what you're going through, and or whatever bad or stress you were having, I have that power to sort of relieve that of you, temporarily relieve you of that, and help you walk away with just a smile on your face. Or if it's a more like serious play or film, maybe walk away with a good message or feel uplifted in something. And kind of create for friendships or for a group of people that are coming to a show to kind of feel, I feel like, strengthened together as community. Because like, it's like we're going out to see a show together,
right?
And everything. Like,
it's a great sensation.
Yeah, it's like we're not just like hanging out at a house, maybe playing video games. It's like, no, we're going out and we're seeing like an improv show, and we're seeing like maybe some of the funniest comedy ever.
Yeah, truly, it is some of the funniest comedy ever. I mean, the first show I went to of your guys', I laughed my actual butt off.
Oh, thank you.
I literally have no butt.
Oh, you have no butt?
It's gone.
It's gone.
You can measure.
Wow.
I'm gonna measure on the air.
We're still not visual yet.
Gosh.
We're not visual.
Yeah,
but you wish you were on this
But
episode.
you wish you were.
Let's just say yes, ladies and gentlemen. He has no butt.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that he has no butt.
Just a side note, a little sticky note here. I'm trying to refrain because I love saying the word ASS.
I do it. Yeah,
I love it. I think it's so funny.
Yeah.
And I really could have then.
Yeah.
And I say it almost every podcast, but I want to say it. But we have our friend Brenna, who wants to put our podcast on at the coffee shop in Suncadia, like on the speaker.
Oh, really?
And so while she's there, I want her to do that, but she can't if we say
if we say like
Darth
Assassin,
like Dark Assassin.
Oh, okay.
You know, and so anyway, tangent.
That's where with those kinds of that kind of language, that's where you have to make it fun. So so kind of going into like the whole fertilizer thing.
Oh, nice transition there.
Yeah.
He's a natural.
We didn't have to do it for you.
God bless it.
Hey, that's improv, anyways.
Vegeta.
But like with those kind of words, you kind of fill in the gaps with something that sounds similar to it.
Yeah.
So like with fertilizer, it gets that F in there, but it's still like that, like, because people fertilizer kind of thing.
It
like
has
it's
the
still
satisfaction of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Or if or like another one that I kind of have is just front door.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Front door. God bless America.
Okay, there you go.
Kind of thing. Like you kind of put like a spin to it on how to say it, and you say it so many times, and it genuinely like just gets in your brain to where like that's the thing you say.
What do you say for the other one? Do you say like sheet music or like
chit? Because Deacon and I say chit, CHIT, and it has the same satisfaction. Like I just took a chit.
I just took a chit. Yeah. Chitty chitty bang bang. Everybody.
Chitty chitty wang wang.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that just unlocked a memory.
Of what?
Chitty chitty bang.
His first love of film came from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I remember. Oh gosh. Well, I remember watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as a kid and just like loving that movie.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Deacon, and I keep going transition like commanding him like an ape, like transition monkey.
Transition now.
This episode is so good already. But anyway, you love performance because of the people and what you can do for the people and the service that you can provide. I think that's really cool, Marcus. I think I resonate similarly with the Goon movies. Like in the beginning, you know, it used to be something that it was just a private endeavor. I remember when we didn't want to show anyone.
Yeah.
I think it was on my birthday where we first showed a movie, which was really. And I remember you left to call your mom. Because you were
I did
nervous.
not want to watch this one scene of me in the movie. It was Seduction Totem for all you longtime fans out there.
Oh yeah, Seduction
Quasimodo. Just did not want to see it, and apparently the reception was very kind to me, which I was surprised.
It was a lot of people's favorite character. But and then now as we gotten bigger and you're a part of it, and Seth and Bruce and now we got a name, we got a brand name. Like I think. And now I resonate on the side, and I kind of see what you mean when it takes people, like, out of their own situation. Like, when we had the premiere, there were a few people there that night that didn't want to be there, you know? Not because they didn't like us, but they had just had things going on in their lives and things on their hearts. And then after, watching Sub 1 and 2, I mean, it made them, have a little bit of smile on their face.
Yeah, well, and the thing, too, is that the audience will really see your drive and your passion to do what you love doing, and that's really how you connect with them. is that you put in that energy and you show them that, like, I'm here for you, and I'm, like, no matter how, we might not have the best lights setting or whatnot, but if you're showing, your true passion for what you're doing, it's going to show, and the audience will genuinely be, like, they will go along with you throughout the entire ride.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's very fun. It's very fun to be a part of that.
Totally. That's awesome. And so, as you in your Lover performance, I bet you've been a part of a lot of different roles.
Yes.
In TV, movies, whatever, on film and on stage, and off stage in some cases. But I want to know, what was your favorite role?
Oh gosh.
And why?
Yeah, this is good.
I have two.
Okay.
Or it's kind of, I've learned a lot through each role that I've done in just my career as an actor as a whole. A couple in particular that I can really remember. My senior year in high school, I did this one show called Brighton Beach Memoirs. Ooh. And it was this coming of age show about this, I think it was a 13-year-old kid who, 1940s, his family is Jewish, he's going through puberty, and his family's kind of going through this family drama, and they're in Brooklyn, New York, and they're starting to hear about World War II, a lot of that is starting to come. Matthew Broderick, who played Simba in the Lion King movie, so as a kid, he was in that show, in the original production in the 80s.
Hope! Sorry. That clip of that soundbite of George, or was it Jones, Mr. Jones, who plays Mufasa.
Oh,
James
Earl Jones.
George Earl Jones.
Oh,
James,
yeah.
Of him going, Scar, help me!
Long live the king.
Anyway,
I'm
sorry.
Yeah, no, but that was one of the first roles where I was really taking in a more serious role. And also I was the lead in that one, and I had a lot of lines for that one, and it got really challenging and complicated. There was even a time where I had a whole page of dialogue because I was just reading a letter.
Yeah, a monologue.
It was a whole monologue.
Now, question about that role. Did you, because for those who don't know, I did theater as well, not the extent as Marcus, but some of those monologues where you read stuff off.
Yeah.
It's just scribbles on the paper. Was it scribbles that you read on the note? Or was it actually did you get to put your lines on the note and you just read it word for word?
Oh, I didn't even have the note.
Oh!
Yeah, I didn't have the note with me. I was I think carrying groceries or something like that.
Oh, and there's a kind of a... How are you?
It was kind of more of a symbolic.
Oh, okay.
Where it's in the show, my character's aunt was reading the letter, and I was kind of on stage, telling the audience what the note was.
Yeah.
And so I was giving that whole monologue, and she was reading it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a voiceover kind of thing, but it's not. It's kind of interesting how theater plays with that symbolism behind a lot of things. It's very different, but very fun to play. But that show was really a Kickstarter for me, really trying to get into more serious roles and really think more about character and how my characters will move and feel, and also how I bring myself into that character. Because that was the closest I'd ever felt connected to one, or very much similar. There were a lot of aspects that I could draw from myself and put into that character, which helps a lot in discovery. And so that really affected my performance, and I was really, really proud of that show. I did another one just last fall quarter called Eurydice, and that one was a symbolic telling of Orpheus and Eurydice. It was a Greek tragedy. For those of you who don't know, essentially there's a husband and wife. The wife dies. The husband goes to the underworld, sings to them, and says, I want my wife back. And the people in the underworld go, you can have your wife, but as you walk to earth, you can't look at her. So just walk to Earth, but don't look behind you, or else you will never see her again.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, he does turn around,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't see each other ever again.
Spoiler.
I would have loved to see that.
It was one of the most interesting shows I'd ever done, and it had the weirdest dialogue ever, kind of thing. One of the lines that I had was, essentially my character, who was the husband, was writing another letter to his wife saying, "I'm coming for you, but don't be tempted to stay in the underworld. I want you to come with me." But the line was, "Don't kiss a dead man. Their lips look red and tempting, but put your tongue in their mouths and it tastes like oatmeal."
What?
I like oatmeal, okay?
Yeah.
okay with
Well,
that.
and then it goes, "And I know how much you hate oatmeal."
Oh.
And like, that's one of the weirdest lines I have ever said in my career.
That is interesting.
But that's
Yeah.
ancient literature for you there.
Oh yeah, but it was one of those where it's like, this sounds like such weird dialogue, but how do I what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I remember when we were doing that show, even just in rehearsal, I think it took us probably 3 or 4 hours just to talk about what the entire show meant, and it was only like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And stuff, but there were so many specific rules in how we had to progress through different characters and what they all meant, because there were a lot of liberties taken in the show, and it was much more of a symbolic telling than a literal telling, and so it was so different. But that was another one where it was like really taking another serious role and trying not to overdo a performance, because normally when you're performing on stage, you're gonna have people probably I want to say probably 30 feet like in the back row. Somebody will probably be like 30 feet away from you, and so you have to, all of your physical movements have to be a lot larger than how you would normally react to things.
Yeah, of course.
But this one wasn't the biggest of seating. It was like a black box style.
Love the black box.
Black
theater.
box is so fun. Well, and the thing too was that the audience was in the shape of a U.
Yes.
So we could be right in the audience.
Oh, that's awesome.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And the way that we would exit would even be in the audience. And stuff. So that created a whole new dynamic.
Have you ever done a show where it's a full black box? It's a full box.
No, but I really want to. Yeah. That would be so
I've seen one. I went to the Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
Oh yeah.
Back senior year of high school. And I think it was called Cambodian Rock Band. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, okay. It's about a rock band in Cambodia. Before the Khmer Rouge, if you're familiar with the Khmer Rouge, it's a militia group, what I'd call them. Yeah, basically, they're like a militia. Yeah, militia that took over Cambodia and stuff and killed them. And they outlawed music. And then it's about where the band goes after they do it and their mixtape that they lose. Anyway.
That's insane.
It's a really cool show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's awesome. That's awesome. I love hearing you talk about that stuff. It's
thank
good.
you.
Yeah, Deacon, do you have any insight onto this acting?
I have a question pointed towards your improv side. What inspired your inclination towards that specifically, and where do you see this next year as a senior and the president of the club going? Where do you see that going?
Ooh, that's a good question. Improv, I'm not gonna lie, is very hard to do.
Sure.
It's one of the it's something where you have to be it's kind of one of those ones where it's like, don't think, just do, but also think.
Mm-hmm. It's like think or do first, then think like second or like a half.
It's kind of a balance between both, and that's the really interesting thing about improv, is that you're given a suggestion by the audience as to like normally I would ask like, oh, can I get a non-geographical location, and someone would say Denny's, and we have to create a whole scene around Denny's, or we just have to mention Denny's. It can really just be what we can put it in however we want it to be. But I really love improv because of that challenge. And I think, too, it really strengthens my skill as an actor to say if anything wrong happens, I know that I can be light on my feet and just go. Yeah, there's been a couple of times where situations happen in live theater. That just happens. Yeah. Where something goes wrong, someone misses a line or a cue, and at points in time, you'll just be on stage, and per se, if someone misses a line, you'll just stand there and just be like, you got to say your line, buddy, because it's you. But you can't do that because then the audience will know exactly what's going on. It breaks
that illusion and that escape that you described that you... Yeah,
exactly. Well, it breaks the flow, it breaks the pacing, and that engagement with your audience into saying like, I'm not necessarily commanding you, but I'm giving you this form for you to feel, and it's kind of like I'm starting to cut that off a little bit. And so you need to keep the scene flowing. And so, long story short, you just have to figure out how to bring that back. So maybe you give suggestions to your partner as to what your line actually is. And then they can remember, go, oh, okay. And then we can continue on with the scene, or maybe a light cue goes wrong and stuff. Or one thing for sure is that improv helps me kind of be more free in the creative process and just allows me to try new things. Like with Eurydice, that was one of the most creative shows I've ever done because when we were in the rehearsal room, the director was just like, so what do you think about this scene?
That's so cool.
Like very collaborative.
Yeah, no, she was incredibly collaborative. Dr. Raleigh and Alana, I love you guys.
Oh, shout
shout out to my directors. They were they were incredible. They were there at so many points in time. They were just be like, what do you think about this scene? What do you think about even just this little moment right here? And it felt so freeing because there was even a moment where my character and the character's girlfriend were at a beach together, and they were, so in love that you wanted to vomit, essentially.
Yeah.
And the director just said, okay, so why don't you guys just, walk from here to here? And I just went, oh, can I lift my other actor up, and maybe spin him around for a little bit. Exactly, just to create that little extra, to show the audience this is how much we are in love with each other.
Yeah.
And... and she was just like, well, check in with your scene partner, and they were cool with it, and she was like, try it out, and it stuck in the show. But I was able to say like, hey, can I even just try this? And if it didn't work, great, we found an avenue that didn't work, so we'll try another one. And stuff. And so improv allows me to be more free in that, and it also it helps me be more comfortable into just saying things. Like, obviously we need to have a filter as to what we say, but at the same time it helps for myself. I need to think a lot as to what I say, not that I say just blurt bad things out, but more just sometimes I have a hard time trying to create things to say. Totally. And then I can just my brain is kind of like a Word document. It just hits backspace all the time as I'm typing.
Yeah.
And so it helps me to really just kind of say whatever's on my feet and allow a conversation to keep flowing. So that was a very long answer.
No, that's great. I mean, that's a really good skill too to have, everyone seems like they're an introvert nowadays, and everyone's, doesn't talk that much. So, I mean, glad you're out here pushing P.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but then with the future of Hot New Jam and everything, we've got a few shows lined up for this next quarter.
Oh yeah,
and everything, which we're very excited for. We're holding auditions. So stay tuned for that. If you guys want to audition, you are more than welcome to.
You already know
right here.
Oh
everybody.
yeah, you better
I am.
audition. I better see you.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really fun. I've got some ideas as to what I would love to do in the coming year and everything. Kind of more towards middle to end. We've got some more long form improv. So a lot of people who have seen the Hot New Jam shows, you're kind of used to the 5 to 10 minute games. And so we're really going to try and dive deeper into like games that go for a half hour.
Oh, sweet.
And then,
yes.
yeah, like the long form
I
stuff.
missed the last show, which was the murder mystery, right? Isn't that what you guys did?
It was like a murder theme.
Like a
Yeah. It wasn't a mystery per se.
Oh, okay.
It was more of like a burial
Yeah.
time. It was
Oh,
like a
yeah.
time loop.
Okay, because when somebody pitched it to me, I heard it was like a murder mystery. And I was like, that sounds cool.
Yeah, we had a funeral for our graduates.
Okay, yeah.
It was so
kinda
good. It was so fun.
It was really fun. But we are looking at doing a murder mystery next year.
Gotcha.
And stuff. And that one is definitely challenging, and I'm very excited to work with them on it.
I really appreciate the and maybe Deacon can speak on this too, but I really appreciate the you guys are primarily a comedy based improv group, but then like every now and again on a blue moon, you guys will do like, we're gonna do a serious scene for like 1 minute.
Yeah.
And they're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good. And you sometimes I'm like, you guys cut it short too soon.
Oh, that is actually my favorite game in improv.
Why do you guys cut these things so short? Like the Foursquare game where
That's
you guys rotate.
that is the best. I think that's
Like, why do you guys do them so fast? And it's like, it's so good.
It's because we have a lot of games to go through.
Totally.
Yeah.
We have like typically they take about like 5 to 8 minutes, sometimes 10 if we really like the scene.
Yeah.
But at certain points in time, you can kind of feel when a scene is about to kind of end. It's not necessarily like, I'm getting tired or something like that, but it's kind of like you're running out of, like, the scene is kind of running out of ideas. It just kind of happens.
so you'd rather end it prematurely than have it
Yeah,
short.
well, and two, there's so many times where even when you just say "end scene," that alone is like that killer.
Yeah.
Actually, is one of the funniest parts.
Totally.
in the show
where
because
it leaves something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it kind of like you leave something in the tank, kind of because the audience wants more, and so then you transition into the next one.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
We're like the behind the scenes right now.
Yeah.
Do you? Sorry, I keep asking a bunch of questions.
Oh, no.
I don't want to take the stage here, but when you're about to call scene, like, or you start a new scene, right?
Yeah.
And it's going. How long do you have, like a 45-second timer in your head, or like a 2-minute timer in your head, and then you go and scene, or is it like, I'm just gonna see how it goes, Because like I think like the last show there was like you guys played Foursquare for like a longer time because you guys know it's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And two of the people their little segment wasn't like the most interesting, just because one of the audience members just gave kind of like 2 crappy answers and no one was giving anything better. And they weren't really into it. Like how do you balance that when it's like, 2 people in the scene are like having something amazing and really funny or really creative, and then the other 2 people got like
It's just not taken off.
dishwasher soap.
One of the things about that is that's just improv.
Yeah.
For one, especially when you have a suggestion or a scene isn't going the way you want it to go. That is one of those things where it's kind of just like you take a note and you just move on.
Sure.
And stuff. Like, I've been in several scenes where it's like, yeah, no, this is not really cutting it. Or maybe like I've kind of said 1 or 2 things that have just like have either made no sense, or I'm like, why did I say that? Why did I say that?
How often does that happen?
Probably about once a show.
Oh,
I would say.
wow.
But it really ranges from like, maybe I could have said something like, or like, I had a better idea.
Yeah.
Like after I walk off stage, or I'm just like, why did I say that? Or like, I did not mean it to come that way.
It doesn't show, right, Deke? Like
I've never thought about it that before.
you guys were so tight last year. Would you say that was the peak?
This was probably the tightest. This is one of the tightest times we've ever been. Well, and I gotta say too, one of the reasons because of that is because when the pandemic was really happening and all of us were, staying at home and on Zoom and everything, we were still together.
It was grinding.
Yeah, and we were able to do some stuff over Zoom, but we were still really tight together.
That's cool.
And even once we finally were able to do a show, fall of 2021, we all were still together, and so we knew each other, how each person ticked and each person's strengths, and so we were still able to come off with each other a really great show. And we were all just friends. Like, that was the thing, too. We were just all really good friends. But again, when you mess up, that's just, improv and everything.
Take it to the chin and go.
Exactly. Yeah, you just take a note, and you're like, all right, perfect. Could have gone better, but that's okay.
That's so cool.
And stuff, so.
Do you have any more performance-related questions to that? Or?
No,
Good, because I got something to I have a facet I want to break off into. I got a question for you, okay?
Yeah.
You ready? Kind of a long one.
Let's hear it.
Daniel was sleeping. Daniel was not sleeping. Daniel was helping his gym teacher, Mr. Adams, to clean up the storeroom for sports equipment. There were 25 tennis rackets and 36 hockey sticks. How many more hockey sticks are there than tennis rackets?
How much free time does this person have to think that? That's what I'm wondering. Can you repeat that question one more time?
Yeah, of course. There were 25 tennis rackets and 36 hockey sticks. How many more hockey sticks are there than tennis rackets? I just Googled math word problem, and I'm like, oh, that's a good question.
I would believe... Oh. Sorry, go ahead. This is for you.
I mean, Deacon, chime in.
How many? 25 tennis rackets.
36.
So it'd be 11.
11 hockey sticks. Nice.
Yeah.
11.
Goodbye,
Mike.
My Mikey. Yeah. Amazing. I don't know. I just thought that'd be funny, but it didn't hit. It's like improv. Take it to the chin and go.
Yeah.
I just thought we'd branch off into a word problem, right? I thought that'd be funny to know, but... Or as heck, Brenna, as heck. Heck. I want to know your life philosophy. I want to know your life philosophy.
My life philosophy.
Yeah, and it could be a phrase, an idea, like mine, for example, is do everything that you can, especially things that people don't want you to do.
Ooh. I would say life is like a river. It's always going to flow one direction, and where you swim, that's where you go, kind of thing. Or I guess, well, I should probably redo that because a lot of life, it just keeps coming, no matter how hard it's going to push or how light it's going to push. And it's kind of just like, it's going to keep going, but it's going to leave. Like, whatever you're going through in this moment, it's going to leave.
Life's going to push it no matter what.
Exactly. It's going to push, and so you just have to kind of ride it out, and figure out how to ride it out. And that's okay, because at a certain point, that section of water is going to go. And, a brand new portion of water is going to come, and it could be great, or it could not be so great. And that's the essence of life, or like that's kind of the word of life. It's not necessarily good or bad, it's life.
That's life.
That's life. That's what all the people say. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that does.
That was so nice.
Dance.
That was nice.
Oh no! I don't think it spilled.
It did a little. It's away from the electrical equipment. But I spilled 2 beverages. I spilled your water and I spilled my
Did you actually?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my god. Did you spill your Guinness?
Nope.
Okay, we're good. At least one of us is landed. That's good. It's a great life philosophy. Deacon, what do you got for us?
Mine would be, this comes from my dad, so this is a Thomas Tuttle moment. Be the worst thing in life that can happen is someone says no. So just take that with what you will, and don't let that hold you back from doing things, because if you try, at least you tried, and then you keep going and you pick it up and just go back to work, basically. So basically don't let stuff discourage you if somebody says no, because it doesn't have to be personal. It could just be how it's going in the moment.
Yeah.
It's really good.
That's
It's
good.
a very Adam Sandler.
It is.
Very Adam Sandler like.
What era of Adam Sandler?
Grown-ups.
Grown-ups era. That is very 2010s earlier.
Yeah,
Adam Sandler.
Speaking of movies, you are a lover of cinema.
I love movies.
And you have great taste in cinema. And I gotta know, just off the dome, okay, this doesn't have to be of all time, just at the moment, 3 favorite movies for everyone.
Okay.
Right now.
Right now?
It could have been things you saw, or it could have been things you've been wanting to rewatch, or just thinking about, like, oh, that's just a damn good movie. Oh, Marcus is whipping out the list.
I did make a list a little while ago.
Yeah, you did.
Of something.
Was it in preparation for the show?
A little bit, actually, yes.
Once. Well, Marcus looks. Deacon.
Absolutely.
Checking in. How you doing over there?
I'm doing good. I wrote out a list just in case we talked about this.
Shut up.
Yeah, just in case, because I wanted. Sorry,
That was a bad high five. That was
I wanted
That
to be-
was like a wet dog.
I wanted to be a little bit prepared in case we talked about this.
Yeah.
I wrote, because I have so many favorite movies that it's really hard. I've never had like that one thing kind of like we talked about before. But if I can work within the confines of genres, I can pick out my favorites. So I wrote down one from like every kind of genre, and I'll share 3. My underrated pick that I want people to watch more, that's not really discussed, is that when people watch it, they love it, but not a lot of people know about it. It's a Ben Stiller directed picture, and he stars in it, and it's The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Yes.
It's very much about the philosophy of life,
Yeah.
and exploring, and basically just getting out there and doing, kind of like how I said, like, it's just about exploring the world and not letting things get in your way, and kind of not letting the past define you, and just breaking new barriers for somebody that's kind of quiet in the box, and then they discover their true self, which is really cool. So that
movie's awesome. I have a great memory of that movie.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
You haven't?
Oh,
No, but I keep
so
hearing
good.
it's
Maybe we
incredible.
watch it
It's
sometime
such a
soon.
good movie.
Oh, agree.
It's really good. Yeah, if I may share this memory,
Yeah.
I think it might be funny.
Totally.
I went and saw that movie on a double date.
Oh,
And it was
interesting.
It was 6th grade, right?
That
When
makes sense.
movie
Like
came out?
2012,
6th
2013.
grade.
2012, yeah.
You went on a double date in 6th grade?
Let's go 7th grade.
Okay.
Like beginning of 7th
I
grade.
think it was 2013.
Yeah. 7th grade, and it was this girl, Nina, who is now a lesbian. You know, shout out Nina.
Yeah.
I didn't cause that turnage. Whatever in life did. But anyway, so I went on a date with her, and then my buddy Easton Harder at the time. And he was going with Nina's best friend Chloe, and I did the old
classic
the arm move, but I was still like short at the time. This is when all the girls were taller than all the guys, right?
Yeah.
And so I my arm was like suspended, and honestly, dude, I left to go to the bathroom, and I looked at my arm. My arm was pale because all my blood was was cut off. The way I was sitting was cut off, and my arm literally went limp. Like, I could not lift my arm without immense strength.
What?
Midi.
Wow.
And what was... Midi. Your arm mid. Ugh,
Walter Midi.
that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, back to you, Deacon. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all
I
right.
just got so much to think about and say. Sometimes it just comes out.
I mean, what genre are you guys interested in? Because I can share it real quick. For the
What are
other
you
ones.
interested to, man?
It's just hard because I'm having... Even though I wrote out this list, which isn't even my definitive one, I'm like, which one do I want to talk about?
Time loop
Yeah.
stuff.
Time loop stuff.
Ooh.
Okay, I wrote down my favorite rom-com is About Time. Very great. Dom Hall Gleason, I think that's how you say it, Dom Hall. And Rachel McAdams.
Timberlake,
It is
right?
About no, that's it. What is that? In Time? That's In Time.
Time.
Yeah, that's where it's the time is currency. But About Time is about this 21-year-old who figures out from his dad that the men in his family can time travel if they go into a dark place and then remember, so they can travel back in their lives specifically, not actually just time travel where they want.
That's so cool.
And he realizes, I'm basically just a loser. What's the secret in life? A relationship in his eyes. So he's like, I need to go and get a girlfriend, basically. So he keeps positioning himself at different places of his life, and eventually falls in love with Rachel McAdams. And it's a choice. It's all about cause and effect and the butterfly effect, and how what he thinks what he wants out of his life is actually going to be better for him, and how it causes both immense good and very bad trauma to other people around him.
Wow.
And it's a very, very, very good father-son story. If you're anywhere remotely close to your dad, you'll cry watching it, because it's just
Dude, I might put that on
it's
tonight.
so
Yeah.
beautiful. Honestly, yeah, one of the scenes in there is just it's like all about what
You cried to that movie? You're not a big movie crier.
Not a big, but I've definitely like shed the lone like tear for that.
Yeah,
with
the watery eyes.
Yeah, but it's a great movie. It's got a good amount of comedy, mostly drama, but it's well placed. Pretty prominent actors, and it's kind of a hidden gem, like it's another hidden gem type movie. But yes, time loop stuff, rom-com.
Wow,
nice. And the last one is,
I'm gonna go with a lighthearted one here. My favorite comedy, recently watched by Marcus Wolf for the first time. We watched Happy Gilmore last month. When did you
guys watch Happy Gilmore?
It was really late in the evening.
Was I gone?
Yeah, we fell asleep.
Or was I sleeping because I had work or something?
I think you were sleeping.
Oh, dang it! Yeah. I missed the Gilmore.
Yeah, we slept for like the last half though.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I woke up and Marcus was like, were you cradling me?
I was cradling you.
Yeah, but Happy Gilmore. It's a fun movie from my childhood. Lots of great one-liners. You get to see a young Ben Stiller in that. Everything's connecting for Ben Stiller in this. I love Adam Sandler.
He's really talented, Ben Stiller.
Yeah, he is.
He was on that Smartless podcast.
Oh yeah.
With Will Arnett and Jason Bateman and the other guy, Sean something. Really, really cool episode. He talks about his philosophy of directing and why he made Walter Mitty and everything like that. So good.
To listen.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible.
But that's a great pick. Happy Gilmore is amazing.
Okay.
Very, very fun and light, easy to watch movie.
Yeah.
It's a classic for a reason in the comedy genre. It's like the perfect amount of like dumb funny and like enough like smart, well placed comedy for me to be like, I don't have to be a complete idiot, watching this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's good. Marcus, you got your list primed and ready. Top 3, here we go.
Top 3. Just top 3 movies in general, or
for right now.
For right now.
For right now,
okay. You want, man.
It could be rotating.
I will say there is one movie. It's. Let's see. I have a list of like 18 right now, but there's one I'm not a fan of this genre, and this one just blew my mind when I saw it.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
okay.
the senses genre. The senses genre.
Yeah, or the horror genre.
Yeah.
I personally don't really like horror movies.
Oh, okay.
They've never really been. I've never grown up with them. Never really watched them. But A Quiet Place just blew my mind because of the moral messaging of it. In that, how far would you go to save your family? And I think just the father's dedication as to how far he goes to rig the lights to make sure that his for communication, and he has sand just everywhere. For those of you who don't know, these people are on Earth, but there are aliens on Earth, and the only way that the aliens can find people is through sound. They have no eyes, and so the only way if they can get attacked is if the aliens hear them. And so they have to remain quiet.
They're really freaking fast, too.
Yeah,
they are.
And so it's like, what do you do with literal no communication? And so you have, of course, American Sign Language. And there's just this one scene that even just tears me watching that scene alone, because of how the music and the pacing and the performances drive this just one specific scene. I think it came out in 2018, so I can say spoilers, right?
Yeah, go for it.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So spoilers for those who have not seen it, but John Krasinski, the father in the movie, he sacrifices his life for his kids.
Such a great scene.
And
I saw that in theaters. That was so fun to watch in theaters.
His performance alone, with how he tells his daughter, I love you. I have always loved you. Just the way, he doesn't overdo his performance. It's so simplified, and you can tell that it is a genuine, from the heart performance. It's as if he's talking to his real daughter.
Yeah.
And stuff. But it's saying, I love you so much. I am putting down everything on the line to sacrifice myself and make sure that you have a chance.
Totally.
At doing it. And just how the music is so soft to show that fatherly daughter love. It blows my mind how incredible that picture is. and also John Krasinski directed that one. And that was, I think, like his third directing credit or something like that. So
fantastic job.
Really great movie. Let's see. Another one that has been... Let's see. What's another one? I'm just going to pull from the hat. This is one that I think a lot of people need to see. Cherry. It's...
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, so it's with Tom Holland. Directed by the Russo brothers. Who directed Avengers Infinity War and Endgame.
Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Civil War and Winter Soldier, and a few episodes of the TV show Community.
Yeah, that's how they got their recognition. The paintball episode.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Yeah, so those directors were on like an NBC sitcom, and Kevin Feige, who is the head honcho of Marvel, saw those episodes and was like, "You want to direct Captain America?"
So cool.
That's so epic.
Yeah, so that was incredible. But after Endgame, they directed this one movie with Tom Holland called Cherry, and it's about Tom Holland's character who goes from being a college student to being a war veteran to then being a drug addict to then, in order to feed his addiction, he robs banks for him and his girlfriend. But then in the end, he redeems.
Wait, are you gonna spoil this now?
I shouldn't spoil it.
Yeah.
But I will say the final shot of the movie as a whole, Tom Holland's performance encapsulates everything that he has gone through in that movie.
Wow.
And you can even just watch that scene and there's no dialogue. It's just music, but you can understand everything that's happening. And I think that's some of the best acting you will, like, not necessarily just from Tom Holland, but the fact that you don't need any dialogue to tell your story.
Yeah.
That, like, if you can, like, the audience doesn't need to know exposition. If the audience understands what's going on without any dialogue, that is when you know, like, you have done your job. It doesn't have to be perfect, but, like, correct and right. And so that was one that really blew me out of the way.
Nice.
Let's see. Maybe if I go for a more lighthearted one. La La Land.
Nice.
That one that's number 2. I love La La Land.
La La Land is so freaking good. You've seen it, right, Deacon?
I still haven't finished it.
Oh.
Funny story behind this one. I've started that movie twice, and this is like back when I kind of had my quote vendetta against musicals. Not actually, but like, I just, I've said this to you guys, but never on the podcast. Something about my brain used to not be able to comprehend like musicals on screen like as movies because it's like so like real, and then people break out into song and dance.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is weird, but I like seeing it on stage. It's such a dumb
Sure.
thing, but
Yeah.
I saw the opening scene with them on the bridge, them all singing and stuff, and then I would be like, I'm just not in the mood for this. So I watched it like 2 times when I tried to watch it 2 times when I just wasn't in the mood. And I was like, I know that I will love this. I'll get around to it someday because I do like Gosling and Emma Stone a lot. So.
Yeah, they do a really great job, but it also too really shows how like accurate Hollywood is, how bittersweet it is.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, because like when you watch the movie and you see Emma Stone's character, Nina, audition for things, it's in like this very small room, and the casting directors are just like, when's lunch kind of thing. Like they really don't care about a person's performance. Some of them, most of the time they do.
Yeah.
But you do get those ones who are just like, I really just want to have a sandwich right now. And you might not give like your whole audition. They'll just be like, we got what we need. Thank you so much for coming in. And then you walk out of the audition room into the waiting room and you see like 10 more people
that look just like you
and stuff. And like when I was auditioning for a couple commercial, they were like with their parents and everything. And so, and it was like, oh man, yeah, it's like, this is like competition, but it really shows how amazing it can be as well. Because there is that magical side of Hollywood that once you're in it, you are in it and you see the spectacle of what it can bring.
Totally.
And I think it really though it is like a musical and there's obviously some portions where it's like it can over dramatize things, I think it puts a good representation to it.
Yeah.
I think I'm finally at a place where I should be able to watch that movie because I know I love it.
Yeah. The ending blows you out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Moonlight too?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because I've seen Moonlight, but I haven't seen La La Land, so I guess we can't compare because that was the whole what deserved the Oscar more. But we can't have that debate because
I haven't seen Moonlight yet.
Oh, Moonlight's
I do want to
good,
watch it,
dude. Very emotional.
Oh yeah.
What kind of mood do you think you gotta be in?
Sad boy hours.
Sad boy hours.
Big sad
Wait,
boy hours.
do you want me to be sad or like happy so then I can watch that movie and not like be
No,
so sad?
get very sad for it. Oh, it puts you into the character's mindset a lot. Yeah.
All right, Taylor, cancel next date night. On me, stand me
We're
up.
watching Moonlight.
We're watching Moonlight. Nah, I'm just joking.
Deliver us your top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't have a list.
Yeah.
I'm going straight off the dome.
it.
All right.
And this is just what I've got. Winnie the Pooh.
The new one.
No,
You
I'm
saw a
just-
pre-screening?
Wait.
At
The
day of
horror
recording.
movie? Winnie the
horror
Pooh?
movie of Pooh and
Yeah.
Piglet.
We were actually just talking about it this
Marcus
morning.
Oh, yeah.
despises the idea.
Shut up. Are you
What?
serious?
I mean, it's kind of sad when you think about it.
This is good. I'm not going to go on a tangent. But I like characters being in a public domain now. I think that's good.
Are you gonna want Star
I
Wars to
like
be in a
that.
public domain?
No.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I would. I'm here for public domain stuff. I want people to be able to share their ideas with certain franchises as long as they're not crossing boundaries to like make things like distinctly inappropriate or like just for shock value or to like spit in the face of the creators. Like because there's think about all the people that aren't able to get their ideas through Hollywood because because it's just a machine for certain properties and there's so many passionate people that aren't able to get their ideas through because people are like either are in that spot after a long time or they've been passed down like for other people like nepotism, it happens sometimes or I guess my framework is usually for comic books. Like people just have their jobs for a really long time and then they just keep them because they keep them, and then those people aren't able to express with those characters. But I also don't know a lot. I know some of the bad sides, but I think in concept it's a cool idea. Totally. So that's why I'm kind of happy to see it. Yeah. I see the pros and cons. But
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is just some of my favorite movies. Surf's Up is my all-time favorite movie.
That's right.
I have a massive love and crush on this movie consistently ever since I watched it when I was a kid. I think it came out 2006, 8?
Something like that.
2008 sounds about right.
Yeah. It's Shia LaBeouf, freaking Jeff Bridges. They destroy it. The dynamic between the two is so good. The message of just it harbors a great message for both I'm all over the place because I love this movie. I've literally written 2 pages on why I love this movie before. And
really?
Because I think it's a beautiful movie and I think it's arguably the best child animated movie of all time. And the message it delivers, yes. The soundtrack, you cannot beat it. You got Sugar Ray, you got Green Day, you got freaking you got Remy Zero on there, you got Pocket Full of Stars on there. Oh my gosh, the soundtrack is amazing. The water and fire are 2 things that do not look good in animated movies.
I will agree with you.
Yes, or in movies period, because no one knows how to make fake fire and fake water. But when you watch Surf's Up, that water looks realistic. It looks more real than freaking the other Penguin movie. What came out? Happy Feet?
Just Happy Feet,
Yeah, Crappy Feet. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
What? I loved Happy Feet.
It's Crappy Feet.
Dude, it is crappy.
It's
kind of scary because you think you're watching a penguin dancing movie and it goes into global warming.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's PSA in the worst way possible.
Dude, it takes a hard right turn or left turn actually. It takes a hard left and you are just in the ditch.
Oh,
it's kind of weird for a kids movie. Honestly.
Yes, it's really weird. That's when the kids movies were weird, like the Christmas Chronicles. Or the Christmas Story with the Scrooge, the animated one, with the little demons that crawled underneath Father Time or whatever, his skirt. Really scary. And then Happy Feet.
That was Robert Zemeckis.
The moment that I pissed myself at Happy Feet, not actually, but I scared myself, or it was scary because when that one penguin who's like the preacher, he has the Gatorade wrapper around his neck and he chokes on it multiple times in the movie. It freaks me out.
Oh yeah, that was pretty creepy.
Yeah, that was so sneaky of them. Honestly, shame on them. And they made a second one. Audacity. But Surf's Up. The soundtrack is phenomenal. The visuals are amazing. The voice acting is stupendous. The side characters all are funny. There's no bad side character.
Yeah.
Freaking the little bird and the little badger are so.
I love the little
badger.
badger.
Not a badger. He's not a badger. He's an otter.
I think
so funny. So funny.
Isn't there a chicken in it?
Somebody get the chicken? Yeah, Chicken Joe. That's
Chicken
right.
Joe.
Chicken Joe.
Best side character of all time. Better than Vegeta.
Dude,
That guy was Napoleon Dynamite.
he's how you do a good dumb character.
He is how you do a great dumb character.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dumb and Dumber. Move aside. You got Chicken Joe over here.
Nice
The jokes are uncanny. The flashback, the whole like documentary, mockumentary kind of like style of the show.
Yeah.
Or the movie is fantastic. And I love it.
Yeah.
And I think the message is very unique in the way they convey it, because obviously the message is about the main character, and that character pushes the message, what they go through, right? Is, and the message is, continue to try your best. It's what's the worst someone can say? No to you, right? Like take that no and put it back in their face kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
But then also the mentor that, in all those message movies gives the message like to the main character. He goes through it as well. Big Z, or what is it? What's this? Geek when he's a normal penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Normal penguin, like he transforms into like a god penguin. No, but when he's hiding, when we first meet him in the movie, like he's like very down on himself, just like Cody is. Like, I want to quit surfing. He's like, yeah, quit, man. It sucks. Yeah, man. Yeah. And then they both realize together that, what's the worst that people can do? Say no and count you out? It's what they've been doing the whole time.
Go with the grain, baby.
With the grain.
With the grain.
There's about 1,000 videos of me on Owen's Snapchat memory of me saying, with the grain, buddy, with the grain.
That fits kind of good with your philosophy, too.
Yeah.
Go with the grain.
Yeah, with the grain.
Yeah.
It does. But I literally would do anything to watch Surf's Up. Yeah. Every second of the day.
I will say about Surf's Up. I think the guy that played the chicken was Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, John.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I think the second thing is that with Surf's Up, that was one of like the first animated movies that they really tried to do like a full like documentary style.
Oh,
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Too. That's why it's.
It was kind of like shot like The Office.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
That's such a good movie,
Dude,
honestly.
Hoodwinked.
Very creepy animation.
Underrated.
Oh my gosh, dude, that movie is
terrifying.
They accept that it's bad though, and oh my gosh, that is such a good movie.
Yeah, it is. I love the mockumentary style stuff. I'm gonna go comedy. This is my favorite comedy of all time. Is 7 Days in Hell.
Okay, nice.
It's an Andy Samberg movie with Kit Harington in it. And the premise is the Wembley, like 500 or whatever it's called. The Wimbledon tennis match, right? A massive tennis match. Tom Cruise was just there. Yeah. But it's a tennis match between these two notorious tennis players, and it's a 7-day match because they keep meeting a tie. And you cannot end tennis on a tie. And so it's just 7 days in hell, and you just uncover more dirt, and it's so bad. It's like an X-rated, and it's not X-rated, but it's an R-rated movie. There's so much grotesque body parts, but it's so funny. Andy Samberg destroys that movie. Sarah Silverman's in the movie. The actual, what's the tennis player? Serena Williams?
Yeah.
Serena Williams in there, and Andy Samberg is Serena Williams' adopted brother.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's so freaking funny. I love that movie. I would say that's the funniest movie of all time. And then I'll go with like a more artsy movie that I really like. And just a honorable mention. I'm just really vibing with Indiana Jones lately, so Raiders of the Lost Ark. But
Indiana
anyway,
5.
but the artsy movie is The Way, Way Back. Have you guys all, know this?
Way Back. I don't know
Way,
about
Way
that
Back. It's about a boy. It's got Steve Carell in it. He's a stepdad, and he's kind of a bag. He's kind of a bag. Yeah, he's kind of a bad stepdad, and he cheats on his new wife and stuff throughout the movie. But it's The Way, Way Back. This kid, I can't remember his name. I love this movie to death, but I can't remember his name. But him and his mom, and his stepdad and his now stepsister, which stepdad and stepsister don't really like him. The movie opens up and they're in this long, shaggin' wagon type vehicle, right? And Steve Carell, the stepdad, talks to his new stepson. He goes, "Hey, what do you think of yourself? What do you rate yourself?"
Huh.
And he goes, "I don't know, like probably an 8." And then Steve Carell, it's a very serious role for Steve Carell. It's not funny at all.
Yeah.
It's not a funny movie. Like there are funny moments, but it's like a sad movie, and it's got a really great message that is I don't know, just continue to do everything kind of thing. And and Steve Carell goes, interesting. Oh, his name's Duncan. And he goes, huh, I think you're like a 4 or a 3. And it's really sad, yeah. And because like he's a really awkward kid, and I mean, you know, he's not quite the looker, you know. Yeah. But it's like a becoming something in a becoming of age, and he figures out who he is, and he goes there, and there's, you know, it's like, you know, when you go on vacation with your family and your family's friends, you know, they're all there in this summer town. They go to this like ocean town on the water, and it's just such a beautifully shot movie, and like the dialogue's really rich, and like it like all has purpose. Like it's not just like meaningless exposition. It's like it has like focused purpose that isn't just moving the plot forward with exposition. And he meets the guy who played John Hammer in Iron Man 2.
Oh crap! What's his name? Why am I forgetting his name right now?
Justin Hammer, who plays Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2. That actor.
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm talking
about right now.
I got your bird.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
yes,
Sam Rockwell.
there you go.
Sam Rockwell owns and runs a water park. He owns a water park, and he's a super like very immature guy, but like he's mature on the inside, but like he's like my dad for the Nobody listeners. Like my dad's very wise and mature, but he would rather like hit you with sarcasm and humor without giving you a straight answer, you know? And so that's his whole character. Duncan, a very, you know, he's been bullied, you know, he's not a very, like, he's very socially awkward. He, like, gets a job there for the summer, and, you know, they teach him all the tricks, like, you know, when you're at the water slide and you'll be the lifeguard at the top, you pretend like there's someone still on the slide so you can look at the girls' butts as they go down, and, you know, it's not supposed to be, like, a bad thing, like, I mean, if you make that movie now, like, it'll just get destroyed, unfortunately, but, like...
And that movie's not that old either.
No, it's not that old either. It's just sad how... our world has just developed it in the way it has. But anyway, like, it's just like funny tricks around, you know, when you know, the tool of the trade, and they call him a pop and lock because he dances really bad, and and he just slowly develops, and his mom and him watch his mom get cheated on again by Steve Carell's character with one of the families, and it's
I need to watch this. I love these smaller like indie type movies
that
focus on families.
Indie movies are very good.
And coming of age tales.
Dude, I love it. I love it so much. I might even watch it tomorrow night. But anyway, those are my 3.
Great picks, everyone.
Yeah.
I do though gotta give an honorable mention.
Yeah, you do.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie.
Deacon, you can cut this part out.
We're gonna edit this out.
What? Please don't.
Marcus,
please don't edit this out.
Marcus, I got two more. I got 2 more things. Deacon, do you have anything else you want to get at?
Come back.
We're hitting at an hour and 13.
I will say, Avatar: The Last Airbender is an incredible movie. I just have to say
Marcus,
that. Okay?
leave your bits at the door.
What? Literally, no.
I've got one more serious question.
Do it.
So some of these listeners, I'm sure they probably know, but coupled with your acting, and what do you want to do with that, and where is your internship leading you?
Yes.
Yes, the Disney internship.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, I would, for my future career in performance and acting and everything, I would love to see where it goes. I would love to give Hollywood a try. I would love to make films and just see where that goes. So the plan right now is after I graduate, Disney does an internship program either in Anaheim or Orlando, and so I would go for that internship, and they would either put me in Anaheim or Orlando, and so I would go there, and I think the program's for about like 8 months or something like that, but they offer you jobs right after. And so if I got into California, I would be able to work there for a while, work in the Disney parks for a little while, and especially like as you know, like you always hear the struggling artist in California who's trying to make a living and everything, living from paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. I mean, Chris Pratt, a very famous actor, before he got famous, he was living in a van in Hawaii. Yeah.
Working at a bubblegum shrimp.
Yep. Yeah, and then like a few weeks, like I think it was like a while in, a director saw him while he was waiting tables or something like that, and then he got in like this horror movie. But if I were to work at Disney, I would be able to say, especially to my parents, I have a job. In California, I know where my paycheck is coming from, and I have money to, I think, give room and board. Pay for that. And so that's kind of the plan there, and we're going to see where it goes. I personally am very excited.
If anyone can do it, it's you, man.
Yeah.
No,
You've got the aptitude, you've got the chops, you've got the merit.
You do. Kudos to you. We need someone who's loving and cares with a servant heart out there in the fields and following what your talents have been given and all that.
You're super
all that jazz.
All that jazz. That's another all that jazz. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Marcus.
All right.
I got 2 more things to tackle.
All right, let's hear it.
One of them I think we should make a staple to the show.
What?
But the first one is, we mentioned a boxing match that's coming up August 6th that I'm a part of. You're also on that fight card.
Mm-hmm. I'm a part of this card.
You're fighting Christian Wilson.
Yeah.
Some are calling him Christian the Wish Wilson.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Last wish.
Not to his ties to Make-A-Wish, but the Wish Wilson. Yeah. You have anything you want to say to him? I don't want to reveal any of your tactics or anything like that. You can keep that up in the air because he is an avid listener.
Mm-hmm.
He is an avid listener.
He's a very avid listener. He just got on and he's been eating them like bubblegum shrimp. So
Bubblegum.
Yeah. Well,
you got anything to say?
I'll save it for the ring.
Oh.
You got nothing to say right now.
What is there to say? What is there to say right
He's
now?
treating him like a second-rate.
If he was in this room right now and it was fight game, what was one thing you would say to him? It doesn't even have to be an insult. It could just be.
What do I have to say to him? That's. I don't really have anything to say to him right now. I just kind of.
Have anything to say to him.
I got nothing to say to him, honestly. I got nothing to say to him.
Wow.
I can't tell if this is a bit.
I know. I honestly just
You
expect
know,
him
I
to
mean,
say like,
if he were
"See you in the ring."
if he were in the room right now, I'd just be like, "You're my objective is to take you down,
dude.
That's my objective.
Okay, wow,
That's what we're
and
looking for.
He's just a
and
waypoint in the open
and
world
I
movie
need
software.
to
Literally.
and I need to accomplish my objective. So, any means necessary to accomplish the objective.
All right, that was kind of epic. I think that was the best thing we can get out of that statement.
That was amazing. We might need to chop that up a little bit. Maybe decompose.
Chop that up.
We can do that.
But anyway, this next question, I think it needs to be a staple. What is something, and our awesome guest last episode asked us, and I think it added another layer to our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What is something you wish people knew about you? And you can do one silly thing, like what's one silly thing, like fun kind of thing, and what's something serious you wish people knew about you? You go as serious as you want on the podcast.
This is good. That's a great idea.
That's a good question, actually. I guess, actually, there is something that not a lot of people, I feel like, know about me.
Okay.
Is this the silly or the serious?
Kind of more of the silly. This is kind of more for the silly one. This is one that not a lot of people know about me, I feel like. I do water and snow sports. A good chunk of them,
That is
actually.
so true.
Yeah. I've been snow skiing pretty much since I can remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
My parents, my mother was a ski instructor in high school, and my mom actually taught my dad how to ski when they were dating.
Sweet.
He skied with my mom's side of the family and everything, and that's how he learned to ski. So I've been skiing ever since I can remember. I also water ski.
Okay.
I can water ski, I kneeboard, wakeboard. Wakeboarding's fun.
That's so much fun.
But man, kneeboarding, that's where you get all the tricks in.
Yeah.
Wakeboarding is like your stereotypical one to get the tricks in. No, kneeboarding is where it's at. I've jumped a wake.
Wow.
Once, so
That's cool.
yeah, so
Take
I've
that,
jumped a
Will.
wake. I've stood up
Yeah.
on a kneeboard and repositioned myself back to my knees. 360 kind of thing, stuff like that. It's really fun to do. I have a friend. I have a couple friends who they had 2 knee boards and 3 people, and they did like a pyramid.
That's so cool.
And stuff. That was really fun. But I gotta see, water skiing is hard, and I do like the slalom ski. So it's just where you're skiing on one. that is really hard to do, to get up and everything, because it's one of the most awkward, like, uncomfortable things you do in order to, like, for the boat to, like, really go and pull you out of the water and stuff. It took me, I think when I was, like, 14 or 15, it took me, like, a week to do and stuff, and I would just eat it, like, probably, like, 30 times. Like, I just kept eating it. Just kept eating water. But yeah.
I kept eating water.
Oh no, literally.
No, yeah, no, totally.
It's not fun. But once you get up, it's like, finally. Yeah, what's a serious thing?
Yeah. Go as serious as you want to be.
Serious as I want to be.
Dig deep or anything like that. I do have on our thing is what's your deepest, darkest secret, but I thought I'd just skip it.
My deepest, darkest secret?
It's a lie. I don't have that on the docket. I'm just Mr. Man today.
How serious do I want to go? That's a great question. Well, I guess there is actually something that surprises a lot of people. When I say this about myself, is that I am on the spectrum.
Yeah.
On the autistic spectrum.
Yeah.
Actually.
I had no idea until like this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, like when I get to know people and then I say that, just as like a casual thing, people are like, "Wait, really?" I had no clue and stuff. And that has been a very big aspect in my life that has really like gotten me where I am today, because it's very there's a lot of challenges but also a lot of benefits too, kind of a thing, because I grew up in a house with a lot of love, and that is something I don't take lightly. Is that when my parents when they found out I was diagnosed and everything, after they took me in, they immediately just sent me to therapy and stuff.
Wait,
like
are you
that.
adopted?
No.
They took you in?
I know. I know.
Dude, when they took me in to have like
I threw me for a fat
I
loop. I'm like,
know. I was about
what?
to say, do we not know that at all? That it's.
I almost was
No.
like, shame on me as a friend.
Saying that's what I was about to say. I was
No.
just
When they
saying,
took me
what?
in like
Yeah, when they
to
took
a
me
person
get
to test me and everything and stuff. Yeah, when they when I got tested for autism and everything, they and then they said, yes, your son has autism and stuff. They're like, okay, I was immediately sent into therapy, but not in a way where it's like, oh, this is a burden, we need to figure out how to cure this. More of just like them as parents, they have discovered something about their kid and they want their kid to, I speak about this in like third person, but it's but my parents have been very open about like just their journey with that, in that they don't want to cure it, because there is no cure, but they want to say, we want to give you the tools and the abilities to function in a normal society, because the world, in the end of the day, it won't change for me, and it shouldn't. But should there be assistance and ways to get me to the level where I can be with the others around me, that is kind of where it's at. Where they were really trying to hone in. And there were just so many times where, I guess I'm just in my life story, it was very hard for me to hold a conversation. Because for those of you who don't know what autism is, it's kind of more of like a social disorder. And kind of in a way where it's like, it's hard, my brain functions in the very literal sense, in that, like, if you were, like, as a kid, if someone were to give me a metaphor by saying, it's raining cats and dogs, I would be very confused.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, why would it be raining cats and dogs? It's not actually raining cats and dogs, it's raining water. And I'd be very sad for the dogs, but not very sad for the cats.
The cats could bite it.
A friend's cat just passed today.
Oh, who?
Her name's Bianca, and the cat's name is Sheldon. Yes. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Anyways.
Question.
Yeah.
That
sorry for
you're
the cat.
saying, no, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a big deal for her and her, the people that know the cat and everything, that know the family and everything. But, I mean, it doesn't really affect me. I met the cat once. Anyway, I just thought I'd add that in. Maybe I got autism. I just chimed in out of nowhere. But that you're saying how sometimes you get hung up on things people say, like it just kind of goes over your head, like the cats and dogs thing. Like how you kind of get hung up on it, right?
It kind of, yeah, it's kind of just like a little bit of an example where it's like there's just some things I don't understand, or even like social settings. There's many points in time where I'm like, where I don't, it's hard for me to understand sort of like the rhythm of conversations and how, you know, social gatherings kind of like you're going from, you know, one friend to maybe another. And there was so many points and times where, like, through middle school and high school, I would just sit at my mother's bedside and I would just tell her about conversations I've had with people. Not to, like, necessarily talk about the conversation necessarily, but we would deconstruct what that looks like. And I was kind of given, like, metaphorical tapes in my head to kind of be like, okay, when this situation comes up, this is how you deal with it. Kind of thing. This is how you work through it. Wow. And that really helped me in how to invest in others and not be just fixated on myself and my own interests. And that's still something I struggle with. But it's something that I've really tried to work on over the years. And like with acting, my parents tried like those, like my acting and my disorder have kind of very much intertwined together because I was never really a big fan of sports in general. Mm-hmm. Like I just never did sports. Like my parents would give me like I think M&Ms just for me to touch the ball. Like if I touched the ball, I'd get M&Ms. Like that's how desperate they were to just have me do something, but it just never clicked. And many times with people with autism, when they have sort of like, you know, like obviously they can have like a diverse amount of skills and stuff like that, but there can really be like one thing that they're like
a super saiyan.
Yeah, and with performance, that's where it really just like clicked in, and it's kind of you know, it's kind of ironic. A person who has a hard time trying to understand social settings is performing social situations and stuff like that.
That's why I think you're like one of the coolest freaking people I've ever met, Marcus, because like autism can be like such like a mind like disorienting thing, and you take that and you put it into every piece of like performance and piece of work that you do. It's so inspiring to people out there that have siblings or are people that are disabled or anything like that like you can use your what some people would consider as a burden as like your bestseller. Truly, man. Like your spontaneity on stage is unmatched.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Something that I find very interesting is that I feel more comfortable in front of 500 people than 15.
I feel the same way.
It's just like it's one of those ones where it's just like if everybody's just looking at me, I feel very comfortable around that. But it's like whenever there's like people talking to each other or one person talking to me and there's other just like in a party or something like that, I'm just like, okay.
Do you find yourself sometimes when you talk or like when it's just one person, maybe there's like 12 other people in the room talking amongst each other, do you find yourself when someone, like if we were talking and this room had other people in it and Deacon was talking to other people, do you find yourself listening to the other conversations?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just like an intriguing thing where even like it's kind of like I kind of go into the third person.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and I'm just like intrigued to listen to people's just conversations and how people talk to each other, or even I enjoy. And this sounds stalkish, but I enjoy watching people just like even just sitting down and having a cup of coffee or just looking at a space. Like if I'm at Starbucks or something like that with people, just looking around the room and seeing how people are interacting with each other and how maybe
that's just like observing and like people make entire jobs off of communication experts.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
That's their life.
Exactly. Well, and just watching and observing how people talk to each other, it also then comes into my performance because the whole thing about acting is that you are embodying a person a person's walk through life. And so that is one of our jobs as performers is to do, because then that helps the audience be intrigued and help connect with a person, and have that form of a connection, and it really helps me because it's like I can pick up on notes as to how people react to things, or an expression is given, or how a similar situation needs to be carried out, and how maybe strong or how vulnerable they need to be, and what that sort of looks and feels like, and stuff. And then I can transfer that into a performance, and people can understand that. And be like, maybe I wasn't in that specific situation, but I understand exactly where you're coming from, and stuff like that. Like they're like, if I may give an example, there with the Eurydice show that I did. Obviously, my character's wife had died. Now, my wife has not died yet, nor have I been married. So, how? Yeah, so how am I able to connect with that?
Yeah.
How am I able to be like, okay, how am I able to convince an audience that my wife has passed away and I am just stricken with grief, and I am going through all of these parts of life where I have this, I wake up from this such happy dream and I'm in a state where I'm in a panic. But then I feel confident about myself in trying to get my wife. How do I convince an audience to do that? Yeah. Well, there was a point in time where it was like I was under a situation or two where I had something similar to that. And so it wasn't the exact same situation, but I drew those experiences and what I felt into that performance. But I didn't let it overcome me, kind of thing. Because you see a lot of method actors try and like always stay in this character and always be this, character, and just you let that feeling and that character kind of take over a person, and that's not really the point. That's not what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Or that's not safe. Because when you think about it, side note, method actors always play the jerk characters. Like have you ever heard a story about a method actor playing a good character, like a nice guy?
No,
not really. I mean, like Daniel Day-Lewis playing Lincoln.
Oh, okay,
yeah. But at the same time, it's like, was that like really safe and healthy for him to do that kind of thing, for especially the people around him?
Because they sent him 200 years in the past, and he had to go live as Lincoln.
Exactly. Well, and it's like people could only address him as President Lincoln.
They had to get the Gettysburg Address, and it was
exactly. And so it's like, but going into the Eurydice performance, it was like I was able to go in, share with you what this character is going through, share you this information, and then I was able to walk off stage and just breathe and just allow that to come away from me.
Yeah, you breathe in the new character and then you breathe it out.
Yeah, you let it out.
That's awesome.
And stuff. And so that but walking with autism, with my disability, and that they've really intertwined so much that it is something where there have been many points in time I've always just felt like, why do I have this? It's so hard for me to understand conversations and situations and all of these things. I'm like, why do I have this? But then it's like it's like I don't know why I have this, but I know how I can use it to help people and to bring entertainment to people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah, thanks for opening up. You're great. You're wonderful. Deacon, you got anything else?
No, it's lovely to be here with you all. It's a pleasure as always.
Deacon signing off like he's about to go die. It's lovely to see you all. A pleasure.
We are now here to celebrate the life of Deacon Tuttle.
Funeral episode next week,
funeral episode.
Yeah. Somebody can give
We're taking over the co-host
my
share.
eulogy.
Yeah.
Am I the new co-host?
Yes. No, the Tyrion, Deacon's dog is. Yep, but Marcus, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Well,
it's been a blast. We'd love to have you on again. We have maybe we just announce it now. We have our 10th episode sweepstakes coming up.
Yeah.
Not really sweepstakes actually. It's more of like an extravaganza type deal.
Okay.
Where hopefully we can sit down for an hour or two and have just everyone who wants to be on just come through.
The world.
And we just cycle through people coming in and out. And I think that'd be really fun. But anyway, that's coming up soon. So we'd love to see you come back on that.
Love to.
And then maybe we could do some improv on air or something like that. That'd
That'd be good.
Yeah, or like read some scripts or something online or over the air. That'd be really fun. But anyway, that's really it. Thank you so much. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Nobody's watching the podcast where we come to you and try and understand what makes you tick, what gets your gears going, and what you're all about. We love you guys, and thanks for all the support. Make sure you're checking us out on YouTube and Spotify, and check out our Instagram. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navi.
Peace out.